Well, do you get blowback from the White House? Because you, even now in this conversation, you're very tough on Biden. So when you say something critical, do you hear from him?
Yeah, and I think that's the stupidest ever.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about TV and radio show host Charlamagne the God saying that the Biden administration contacts him whenever he is overly critical of President Joe Biden. Now, this is a classic Democratic Party approach. Hey, Mr. Guy, Mr. Black Guy, Mr. Radio Show, TV show, politician, whoever, you say too much critical about our person, we're going to put you back in place. We're going to put you back in line. You're getting too uppity. You're getting a little bit too big for your britches. We're going to make sure you realize who the boss is. That's what's happening right now. And what makes it crazier is that Charlamagne the God is the person who Joe Biden told back in 2020 during the campaign that if you don't know whether you want to vote for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. Rather than trying to put Charlamagne in his place, you should just back off. There was an apology back then from the Biden administration. It was a soft apology talking about, oh, I shouldn't have been so cavalier. Cavalier? Is that the new word for racist? What does the color of my skin have to do with whether I want to vote for Trump or for Biden? Talking about, oh, well, if you don't know, then you're not even really black. Imagine getting told that on your own radio show live on the air. Really crazy. But before I go any further into my opinion about Creepy Sleepy and Charlamagne and the Democratic Party's abusive relationship with the black community, let's go ahead and roll the clip. If you want to see the clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it. And I'm starting a little bit far into the video because it's kind of a long one and I won't play the full thing. Let's check it out.
With then presidential candidate Kamala Harris. But it was his 2020 interview with Joe Biden that made the biggest splash and drew criticism of Biden for his comments on black voters.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I met with Charlamagne at his radio studio to discuss the state of American politics.
So I got to pause it right here because I'm not quite sure how they want to do this. They might want to give me a copyright, but I think he's going to be at iHeartRadio on the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne has been there for a very long time, along co-host DJ Envy, previously Angela Yee, but now they have Just Hilarious. Check it out.
I saw you describe this campaign that we're headed into as a race between the cowards, the crooks, and the couch.
Yeah, the crooks are the Republicans. The cowards are the Democrats because they don't fight hard enough on anything. And, you know, the couch is voter apathy. And
you know what? A lot of us in the community who are liberals will try to not say that we're liberals by saying that both sides are bad. If you criticize Trump, that's all fine. Nobody really gives you a counter argument. They'll just say, yeah, you're right. If you criticize Biden, they'll say, yeah, you're right. But he's bad too. They won't do the same thing for the opposite. You understand? Let's keep on going.
And you know, that's who everybody is up against in 2024. And right now, it feels like the couch is going to win. I don't know who that benefits, you know, by the couch winning, but it feels like the couch is going to win.
What's your sense? How engaged, how much is your audience paying attention to this race?
My audience, I feel like my audience is America. And when I'm out and about, just, you know, walking in the street, or people are calling into the radio station, like nobody is inspired, you know, by the upcoming election. Like, you know, like nobody.
A lot of your Breakfast Club urban listeners of all colors, not just black folks, they're not really going to be in tune politically. Not all, but a lot of them are not really going to be in tune politically. That's just kind of the reality of the situation.
Everybody wants to see the rematch between, you know, Biden and Trump. And that's what makes me feel like the couch is going to win.
Why?
This is the first time in my life when people say things like, you know, this person is a threat to democracy. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely true. And it's mind-boggling to me that, you know, nobody is taking it as serious as I feel like they should. Like, we watched an attempted coup of this country happen on January.
See what I'm saying? J6. Like, that's not how anybody who's at all conservative talks. That this is a left liberal talking point straight from the Democratic National Committee. That's what they say. This is not the reality of the average person on the ground outside of liberals.
January 6th, and everybody's acting like it was just a bunch of people, wilding at spring break, down in Florida.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it was. It was a riot. And there's been plenty of riots, but it seems like only one riot gets any kind of attention.
Like, we literally watched, people try to overthrow the government because they didn't like the results of an election led by a former, president.
And I've never seen a coup attempt in the history of ever in the world with no guns. I don't think that's really how that works. I don't think a riot mixed with just casual touring of people in line in the Capitol, which is a taxpayer-funded facility. I've never seen anything like that be considered a coup up until recently. It's because guys like Charlamagne and this guy right here, I think that's Carl, I forget his name. These people push that narrative. It's a false narrative. It's a fake narrative.
If that doesn't cause a sense of urgency in people, I don't know what will.
Biden does make that an issue over and over again. I mean, he constantly talks about that. Why is it not resonating?
Well, he's just an uninspiring candidate. Like, there's nothing about, Joe Biden that makes you want to listen to him. That's why he should be leaning on, his vice president, Kamala Harris, who's way more charismatic than him. He should be leaning on, other surrogates like, Gavin Newsom or, Shapiro in Pennsylvania. Like, he should be.
Why would Kamala Harris be somebody that he would lean on if she ran for president at the same time he ran for president and she polled at 0? In South Carolina, where you're from, Mr. Charlamagne the God, your people, your fellow South Carolinians, if that's the correct word, they voted for Joe Biden over Kamala Harris. So what can Kamala Harris do really to help Joe Biden? She is just as hated as he is. Now, if you want to say Gavin Newsom should run rather than Joe, that might make some sense, but not Kamala and definitely not Joe.
Be leaning on people who are more inspiring than him, who are more charismatic than him, and he should just be, I guess, if you want to call it, the brains of the operation behind the scenes. That sounds crazy that we're saying that about a president of the United States of America, but he has no main character energy at all, none.
And what is that? Is that age? Is it the way he is? I mean, why do you, what?
The man is old as dirt. He's old as time.
What's the problem?
I don't think it has anything to do with age.
Charlamagne, see, this is what I'm talking about. You try to come off as somebody that's kind of neutral. I'm not left or right. Come on, this is all left stuff. You're going to tell me right here with a straight face that age is not really the issue? This man is obviously in cognitive decline. He might even have dementia, falling all over the place, forgetting what he's saying, trailing off, getting angry, shouting. This guy is old as dirt, and it's showing, and it's obvious.
I think it has just everything to do with him. Like, Donald Trump is, 3 years younger than President Biden, but he just comes off a lot more youthful. He comes off, like he has a lot more energy. And I always say this about them. Donald Trump seems more sincere about his lies than Joe Biden does about his truth.
This makes no sense. This makes no sense.
Charlamagne endorsed Joe Biden in 2020, but says it was primarily because he had chosen Kamala Harris as his running mate. Has she met your expectations? I mean, you've been kind of tough on her.
Yeah, no, she hasn't. But I don't think it's too late for her to pivot.
So she's not met my expectations, but Joe Biden should rely on her to help him. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I think that right now, historically, vice presidents have always kind of played their role. Their role is to just basically parrot the president, speak, on behalf of the president. But I think, man, we're in a new era, right? Like for new jack problems, we need new jack solutions. Mm-hmm. And she serves a unique purpose, right? Because she is the first woman of color in that position. So there's things that she could talk about. There's things that she could say that I feel like, he can't. And I mean, man, we all.
What is she really going to say? And she's not even really American like that. She grew up a lot of her time in Canada. And her mother is from the Indian subcontinent, father Jamaican. This is like the Obama effect. You're not really an African American. You got other stuff going on. So what can she really say that he can't? I would go out on a limb and say Joe Biden probably spent more time around the community than Kamala Harris did as a youth.
All remember her in those Senate hearings when she was pressing those people, when she was like really on, you know, she was prosecuting these people. And I want to see her prosecute the case.
Prosecuting the guys for weed in California. Go back to that. Go back to that Kamala Harris. I might be down for that.
Against Donald Trump in this country. I feel like she could go out there and really let the American people, you know what's going on. I'd like to see her going on outlets like Fox News. I'd like to see her going in there and mixing it up.
Well, she does not do well. I've not ever seen Kamala Harris have a debate or anything like that. Going on Fox and being asked tough questions, all you're going to get is a bunch of cackling. Okay, you're going to get hyena noises at best. That's what's going to happen.
Get blowback from the White House because you, even now in this conversation, you're very tough on Biden. So when you say something critical, do you hear from him?
Yeah, and I think that's the stupidest ever because I think that I'm sorry, I forgot. But
we can bleep that out.
Yeah, because I feel like you should be able to criticize whoever your elected official is, right? Yeah. And even if I do criticize them, I'm criticizing them because of what I see coming up in November. I see.
Now, here we go. He about to tell you exactly why. If he might say that I'm not really left or right, I'm kind of in the center. He may or may not say that, but what he's going to say right here kind of proves my point that he is a leftist who might be kind of ashamed of being a leftist at this moment.
What we're facing. So what I'm saying to them is, where is the sense of urgency? You can't keep saying that there's a threat to democracy and democracy as we know it is going to be gone, but not act like it. And the other problem is they've always done this with every single Republican candidate. Since I've been alive, whoever the Republican presidential candidate has been, they've demonized.
So basically, like what we're facing, what we're up against, it's like, who is we? Is we the American people, or is we Democrats, leftists, like you appear to be right now? There's more to this, and I will link to it in the box, of course. This is Charlamagne on ABC. I think that's John Carl right there. Shout out to him. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But as I close, I want to say this. The White House contacting Charlamagne to say, hey, man, you're doing a little bit too much is crazy after they did too much. Joe Biden embarrassed this man on his own show, nationally syndicated radio, television, YouTube, embarrassed this man. Racist comments, didn't even really apologize. Oh, I was too cavalier. But then they want to hold Charlamagne's feet to the fire for giving, from his point of view, honest criticism. It's crazy, but not surprising because this is how our Democratic Party have been doing since the beginning. Not much has really changed except for the date. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what the Democratic Party, Joe Biden administration are doing to Charlamagne? Hey, you're critical. We're going to contact you and tell you to pipe down. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is of no surprise to me. That's pretty much how they operate. And the problem is that it won't really deter a guy like Charlamagne or anybody else that's watching this from voting for the Democratic Party if that's what they really want to do. Now, some people who are open-minded, who are questioning, who may have some concerns and may kind of be on the fence, they could be swayed by this. But if you're stomped down to your position, what's really going to change you? And at a certain point, as I close for real, we got to make a change in the community because you get 80-90% voting for one party, nothing to show for it. And the Democratic Party relies on that to the point where they're going to call influencers and say, don't say nothing bad. Where's anything that's positive? Where's any kind of outreach? The outreach that I see a lot of times is behind the scene phone calls. That's like veiled threats to keep quiet or else. That's kind of what I see as their so-called community outreach. Not a very good look to me, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.